Belfast, 1909. From gray skies and coal smoke, dream begins. Thousands of workers pour through the gates every single morning. Pencil lines on drafting tables trace the outline of the ship. Steel is bent, hammered and welded into place rivet by rivet. Titanic rises from the Belfast mud, slowly defying the gray sky. 3 million rivets each driven by hand into the cold steel. Fire and steam and iron hammers echoed through the shipyard daily. Newspapers called it a miracle of engineering. Some whispered, unsinkable. May 31st, 1911. 50,000 people crowded the Belfast docks. A thunderous roar as the Titanic slides into the water. She was the largest moving object ever built by human hands. Carved oak, gilded brass, Turkish baths and gleaming crystal chandeliers. The grand staircase, a cathedral of polished oak and bronze. Third-class cabins, simple, clean and dignified with real dignity. 3 massive engines, 46,000 horsepower and 3 great propellers. 4 enormous funnels rose above the deck. The 4th was decorative. By April 1912, every system was tested and every surface polished. Her name was already famous around the world. Her story unwritten. April 10, 1912. Southampton. Cold dawn breaks over the waiting liner. The docks alive by morning. Entire families pressing to say goodbye. Passengers from 29 nations. Millionaires and emigrants. One ship together. Captain Edward Smith, 62, white-bearded. His very last voyage ever. At noon, the great steam horns sounded 3 long thunderous blasts. Mooring ropes cast off. The enormous ocean liner slowly began moving. Hands waving from the high deck. Handkerchiefs waving from the dock. Cherbourg, then Queenstown, then west into open ocean. Goodbye to land. The story was about to begin. Nobody on board knew yet. From Queenstown, she turned west into the wide open Atlantic. On board, time slowed. An entire city floating westward in hope. 3 days of mirror-flat Atlantic. No storms. No ice warnings. First class. Morning tea, afternoon promenades and 7-course dinners nightly. Menus in French, oysters, roasted squab and peaches in jelly. Dark carved oak and mother-of-pearl panels lined the smoking room. Turkish bath, gymnasium and a heated indoor swimming pool were aboard. Second class. Card games, letters written home and warm shared dinners. Third class was loudest and most hopeful. Emigrants from everywhere. Astor, the wealthiest passenger on board, was returning from honeymoon. An Irish family clutched their emigrant documents, papers to America. Hartley led his 8 musicians through waltzes and ragtime every night. Ice warnings filled the radio room. Some were never delivered upstairs. Sunday morning, a church service held. Hymns echoed through the ship. The sea was impossibly calm. Temperature falling sharply through the night. 22 knots, the fastest speed the Titanic had ever traveled. White Star wanted a record Atlantic crossing. That pressure reached upward. 6 ice warnings arrived by Sunday. Not all reached the bridge. The crow's nest lookouts scanned total darkness ahead. No binoculars. No moon. No wind. A perfectly calm sea hides icebergs completely. Somewhere dead ahead in the dark, something enormous was silently waiting. 11:40 p.m. Lookout Frederick Fleet spots a dark shape dead ahead. Iceberg right ahead. 3 sharp bell rings. The watch officer reacted. 37 agonizing seconds to attempt the turn. Too little, too late. The iceberg scraped along the starboard hull with a grinding shudder. 6 small holes opened along 90 meters of the hull below. In boiler room 6, the stokers suddenly stood ankle-deep in water. Andrews stared at the flooded compartments below and said nothing. For compartments flooded, she floats. 5, she sinks completely. 2,224 aboard. Lifeboats for only 1,178. More than half left behind. The order came. Uncover every lifeboat and muster all passengers now. Distress rockets fired bright white into the perfectly clear night sky. The Californian sat 20 kilometers away. Her operator was asleep. First lifeboats lowered half empty. Nobody wanted to leave the warm ship. Hartley raised his bow. The orchestra played on in the cold. By 12:45, the growing tilt was impossible to ignore. Glasses slid. Third-class families ran the corridors. Some iron gates were locked. Marconi operators kept transmitting after being ordered to abandon the ship. 1:15 a.m. Bow visibly underwater. Stern rising. Angle past 15 degrees. Last lifeboats flung into the sea half-assembled. All time had gone. 1,500 people pressed tightly at the rising stern in darkness. The bow pulled slowly downward at first, then with unstoppable speed. 2:17 a.m. The keel cracked in two. Sound heard far away. The bow plunged toward the ocean floor at 55 kilometers. The stern stood perfectly vertical, propellers pointing up at the stars. Then the stern too descended into the cold black Atlantic forever. 2:20 a.m. The ocean closed over the last piece. Titanic gone. 1,500 voices in -2-degree water. Only 15 minutes survival. Lifeboats listened in silence to the cries from the dark water. Lifeboat 14 alone went back. Officer Lowe found just 4 alive. 40 minutes later, the cries stopped completely. The ocean was still. 3,800 meters below the bow section settled slowly into the sediment. 4:10 a.m. The Carpathia arrived at last through floating ice fields. Survivors were lifted aboard one by one. Most could not speak. 705 survivors. 1,517 dead. The ratio by class told its story. Among the living, Molly Brown, Ismay, and Second Officer Lightoller. Among the dead, Thomas Andrews, Captain Smith, and Wallace Hartley. April 16th. The New York Times, 1,500 dead. The world disbelieved. Survivors reached New York Harbor at night. Thousands waited in rain. Senate hearings began. Why go full speed through the ice? Ismay, the chairman who survived by lifeboat, faced the harshest judgment. New law. Every ship must carry lifeboats enough for every soul. The International Ice Patrol created. The North Atlantic warned forever after. For 73 years, the Titanic rested undisturbed at 3,800 meters depth. September 1985. Ballard sent his camera vehicle down into total darkness. He found her, bow intact, a teacup upright in the silt. The stern had torn free and fallen 600 meters away. Thousands of paired leather shoes lay across the entire debris field. The bodies dissolved over decades, but the leather shoes still remain. A child's glass marble, a leather bag, a sealed perfume bottle. Time stops at the bottom of the sea. The objects wait. Cameron's 1997 film brought the Titanic back to 2 billion eyes. Names of the dead carved in stone memorials across 4 countries. In Halifax, 150 bodies lie in curved rows at Fairview Cemetery. Most headstones carry no name at all. They read simply, unknown. The wreck consumed by bacteria slowly. Bow railings gone by 2030. All 8 of Hartley's musicians died still playing at their posts. Captain Smith's body was never found. He went down with her. Of 2,224 aboard, only 710 survived. Third-class survival, 25%. No machine is unsinkable. No engineering defeats nature. Arrogance kills. Steel monument beneath the sea in cold silence. Remember the Titanic.